From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, March 7th. Cold air is moving in behind all the rain we got overnight and early this morning. Highs will top out for most areas in the 40s. We have snow showers possible by the end of the week. The National Weather Service says that a tornado briefly touched down in Cass County over the weekend. The agency says the EF0 tornado touched down around 2:05 yesterday morning southwest of the town Royal Center. NWS says winds topped at 70 miles per hour. And 7 people, including 2 children, are dead after tornadoes hit near Des Moines, Iowa. Madison County officials say the 2 children were under the age of 5. The National Weather Service says an initial estimate shows the tornado reached wind speeds of at least 136 miles per hour. Vice President Kamala Harris is safe after a security scare at Joint Base Andrews. Authorities say shortly after a plane carrying Harris and several cabinet members arrived, 2 people refused to stop at a security checkpoint. Harris had returned to the base after a trip to Alabama to mark the anniversary of Bloody Sunday. The base says guards used barriers to stop the vehicle, but the pair got out and ran. Air Force security officers caught and arrested one of the people who had a gun, but as of the latest update, they have not found the other. And the White House renewed calls for voting rights legislation at that anniversary event. Today marks 57 years since civil rights leaders led thousands across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. State troopers beat the marchers. Vice President Harris visited Selma yesterday. She said that Americans are still stuck between justice and injustice.
The future of our democracy is being decided now. By you, by us, by the people. And ultimately, you are the ones, we are the ones who must protect the freedom to vote.
Both Harris and President Biden called on Congress to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. The bill is part of a broader elections package that collapsed in the Senate earlier this year. To the war in Ukraine, fears mount overnight for trapped civilians as Russian forces pummel Ukrainian cities. Russia announced yet another ceasefire to allow people to get out, but others so far have fallen apart. Ukraine and Russia are set to hold a third round of talks today. The Russian Defense Ministry says safe passages will be open in 4 cities, some of them funneled toward Russia or its ally, Belarus. A senior Ukrainian official rejected those proposals, so it's not clear if fighting will stop. Over the weekend, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky shared a new message on social media. He says in the video that God will not forgive Russia for its actions and that the entire globe is working to stop Russia.
They've not noticed that the world is truly resolute, truly seeking to stop this war. You will not hide from this reality. You will not hide from new murders in Ukraine.
U.S. officials say 95% of the combat power Russia had along the border before the invasion is now in Ukraine. They say the count of Russian missiles to hit Ukraine is roughly 600 so far, and civilian deaths are in the hundreds. Ukraine is asking all Western companies to withdraw their business from Russia. Some companies are already acting. TikTok users in Russia will not be able to post new content or live stream through the app. The company's cutting off those services, but says in-app messaging will keep working for now. TikTok announced the move yesterday in response to Vladimir Putin's new law penalizing what he calls fake news. Under the rule, anyone who spreads what Russia considers misinformation could face up to 15 years in prison. And Netflix is no longer streaming in Russia. The company has about 1 million subscribers in the country. The streaming service is not yet saying what will happen to those accounts or when services could start up again. Netflix already paused show production in Russia. And gas just topped $4 a gallon in Indiana. That's the new statewide average this morning from GasBuddy, marking a nearly 50-cent jump from a week ago. The national average broke the $4 mark over the weekend and sits at $4.07 a gallon, just shy of the all-time high of $4.10 set in 2008. There's not much variation. GasBuddy says the lowest prices in the state are in Elkhart at $3.84, the highest right next door in South Bend at $4.07. Bloomington, Columbus, and Indianapolis are all in the same range. And rising prices are prompting a new warning for one of Central Indiana's most important agencies for people in need. Gleaners tells News 8 it might have to decrease food distribution if prices keep going up. Gleaner serves 21 food pantries in central and southern Indiana, where officials say they're seeing more demand. The food bank is trying to navigate the increase in costs and staffing shortages.
If a household has been hit with several $100s worth of cost increases, at some point it just doesn't all come together, and they're going to need to get some supplemental food resource, and that's why we're here.
Gleaners also says more people are asking for help because of the end of the child tax credit. Congress declined to expand it, ending the monthly checks parents were getting. Overnight, Johns Hopkins University reported the world passed 6 million deaths from COVID. Nearly 1 million of those were in the United States, more than any other country. Experts are expressing optimism for a nearly normal spring and summer after seeing new CDC data. No orange on the CDC state map means no Indiana counties are considered to be at a high COVID-19 level. The numbers are based on hospital admissions, the number of COVID-19 patients, and cases over the past 7 days. Health experts caution that while the risk is dropping, it does not mean it's at zero and that masks may still be necessary depending on the situation. Indiana ended its emergency order last week. That's why you're no longer seeing the data boxes on Wish TV that we've been providing for close to the last 2 years. And today, Indiana lawmakers will begin their final full week of session. Tax cuts are among the biggest topics on the table. House Republicans want to cut Indiana's individual income tax rate from 3.23% to 3%. Their bill also included cuts to several business taxes. The Senate gutted that bill. Governor Holcomb has been calling for steep cuts as a way to combat inflation. Democrats agree with the governor and say the money that would be cut could be put to better use. Senate President Pro Tem Roderick Bray has said he is open to negotiations. One Indianapolis program is providing young people the necessary skills to get a job. Yes Indy runs the Power Huddle program at the Finish Line Boys and Girls Club on the Far East Side. News 8 was there when about 20 students created vision boards. Students can earn job-ready Indy badges, which mean they've learned desirable skills. The program director says the goal is to help young adults get on the right path.
Most of the students that come in are just looking for a chance at life, right? They're looking for an opportunity for education or an opportunity for work, an opportunity to matter, right? And so we provide that for them.
Within these past 2 weeks, I say my life has changed every day for the better, every day. Like things that I used to take for granted, I no longer take for granted.
My plan when I leave here is fixing my relationship with my family and my peers, and getting a better job and going back to get my GED.
The program has been running since 2018. It's open to students from 16 to 24 years old. FedEx is hiring. The shipping giant needs forklift operators, customer service reps, and more in Lebanon. There are 75 jobs. FedEx is hosting 2 fairs at the NBC Suites at 86th and Michigan Road. One is from 9 to 5 today, then tomorrow from 9 to 1. You do need prior experience for the forklift jobs. NFL prospects are heading back home this morning after trying to wow teams in Indianapolis over the weekend. The NFL Scouting Combine saw several memorable performances, including Saturday's sprint for the ages by a big man. Georgia's Jordan Davis ran a 4.7840, fastest for any player over 330 pounds at the Combine since at least 2006. Cologne Barnes ran the second fastest 40 ever at 4.23. No word yet if this was the last Combine in Indianapolis. The league hasn't announced the next host site. Alec Baldwin says he thinks Rust lawsuits are going after wealthy people. Baldwin handled a prop gun on the movie set last fall when it fired, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins. He spoke at the Boulder Film Festival this weekend.
What you have is a certain group of people, litigants and on whatever side, who their attitude is, well, the people who likely seem negligent have no money. And the people who have money are not negligent. But we're not going to let that stop us from doing what we need to do in terms of litigation. So we have people that are suing people that they think are deep pockets litigants, where they're going to be able to, well, why sue people if you're not going to get money? That's what you're doing it for.
Baldwin added that he expects the criminal investigation to come to an end soon. And the newest installment of the Batman franchise is providing a big boost for the theater industry. The film's opening weekend soared to an estimated $128.5 million. That's far better than predictions from most experts. It's one of the biggest opening weekends for any Batman movie. And finally, IU women's basketball may have lost in the Big Ten title game, but the team's performance in the tournament raised confidence ahead of March Madness. News 8's Olivia Ray spoke to the players about a possible repeat of last year's magical March run.
For the first time in 20 years, the Indiana women's basketball team played their way into the Big Ten tournament title game, trying to do something that no team had done before, win 4 games in 4 days. Now, the Hoosiers came up just 7 points shy of holding that championship trophy here in Indy, but what they did accomplish was shaking off a rough 3-game skid that ended their regular season while tremendously improving their NCAA tournament position.
It shows how good of a team we are, and led by a great coach, obviously, and we have a lot of great veteran leadership on our team. So no matter what's thrown at us, I think we've shown that we can kind of push through that.
We don't let a little adversity bring us down, and we're just going to continue. You know, we've got a lot of basketball left, and that's what we're going to do, whether there's adversity or not.
We had every reason to come to Indy and, fold and not, be who we are and who we know we are. But we looked at it as a new season. It's not the end for us. We're going to shut this door and we're going to move on, to the NCAA tournament and look forward to hosting in Bloomington.
As the confetti fell around them celebrating Iowa, that was the message that Terry Morin delivered to her team. This run in Indy, it was just a warm-up. Her Hoosiers are poised for another magical March where just a year ago, they danced their way into the Elite Eight. For now, they'll take a few days to rest as they await their path on Selection Sunday. For now, reporting from Gainbridge Fieldhouse, I'm Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
This has been your News 8 Daily 8. For Wish TV, I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.